The air intake system is designed to deliver large quantities of clean, filtered air to the engine combustion system. Let's examine the air intake system and see how simple yet critically important the maintenance can be. The air filter is the maintenance priority in this system. Air filters prevent minute dust particles from entering the engine. They're able to remove particles that are smaller than the human eye can see. Check your operator's manual for specific information about the air filter change intervals for your engine. Like oil filters, air filters can differ in area of the filtration material, size of the debris removed, mounting plates, and seal diameters. These variations can adversely affect air filtration. Air filter maintenance is one of the areas that generates the most misunderstanding among customers. You should only check your air filter after every 50 to 100 hours of operation and replace it at the recommended interval. When you check the air filter, it'll look dirty. It should look dirty, or it's not doing its job. Some air intake systems provide an additional layer of protection by putting a safety element inside the primary filter element. The safety filter should never get dirty. If you find dirt on this filter, it means the primary element has failed. Many of us were taught to remove the air filter every day as part of a pre-operation inspection. This practice can in fact be very harmful. Removing the air filter every day amounts to over-servicing the filter and can lead to engine failure. Each time the filter is removed, especially in a dirty or dusty environment, small amounts of contaminants can get into the intake system. Even tiny particles can cause severe damage. Ingesting only 1 teaspoon of dirt over the life of an engine can dust it, causing failure from abrasive wear on the rings, pistons, valves, and cylinders. The abrasive wear patterns from external contamination, like dirt in the engine, are quite distinctive. This kind of damage is costly to repair and is usually not covered by warranty. The other main problem with air intake systems comes from replacing the air filter too often. That's because a new filter is not 100% efficient. As a new filter gets clogged with dirt particles, it becomes more efficient at keeping out smaller and smaller particles. An air filter actually protects the engine best when it's about 2/3 clogged. Air filter service data indicates that if you change your air filter at 1/4 its required hours, your risk of engine damage will be 300% greater than if you replace it at the normal number of hours. It's important that you take precautions to keep all dust out of the intake system. During periodic service, work in a clean area and wipe all inside surfaces of the air cleaner body with a damp cloth. You should also check the clamps and hoses with each cleaning. Promptly replace any damaged components. Every few months, you should check for evidence of dust or dirt getting past the filter. When you check the air filter, don't bang it on anything to remove the dust. You could damage the filter and compromise the integrity of the system. You can clean an air filter with compressed air, but don't use more than 30 pounds per square inch of air pressure. If you typically clean your equipment using a high-pressure washer or hose, be very careful. Do not attempt to wash the engine while it's running. If water gets into the intake system, it can cause hydraulic lock by filling the space between the piston and the head. That can cause a connecting rod to bend, or it can result in piston damage. The best way to protect the engine is to cover the air intake assembly with a plastic bag before using the pressure washer. You should only change the air filter under the following conditions: after the recommended number of operating hours, when the restriction indicator is triggered, or the dash light comes on, if your engine is so equipped. When you can no longer clean it adequately with low-pressured compressed air, when the filter is damaged, if it's been saturated with oil, or if you see black smoke coming from the exhaust. The air cleaner element is an easy-to-service and inexpensive maintenance item. Don't let over-servicing become a problem. I'd like to make one more important maintenance point about the air intake system. Some people are inclined to use starting aids to get an engine running during cold weather. Under no circumstances, however, should you ever use ether or other starting fluids on a diesel engine. They'll do serious damage to the engine. It's easy to tell when ether or other starting aids have been used, and the damage that results is not covered by warranty. At this point, you should stop and review the materials on the air intake system that accompany this program. Then move on to Part 3.